Welcome to Financial Flash Report number 275. Mark, as we get into today's discussion, I've been thinking about how people often focus on outcomes. Winning the Super Bowl, college football championships, and even with financial portfolios, without really appreciating what it takes to build something capable of sustaining success over time.
That's a great insight, Paul, because the best results almost always come from what happens long before anyone's paying attention. The preparation, the discipline, and the experience behind the scenes.
Exactly. And that's what got me thinking that managing a successful portfolio isn't all that different from what it takes to build a Super Bowl winning team.
I love that comparison, because in both cases, the outcome looks glamorous, confetti falling, trophies raised, but the real victory is built through process, preparation, and experience long before the spotlight arrives.
Correct. Nobody wins the Super Bowl by improvising in the fourth quarter. And investors don't typically reach long-term success by chasing headlines or reacting emotionally to every market fluctuation.
Right. The best teams and the best portfolios are constructed with intention. Think about diversification. A football team doesn't rely solely on a quarterback throwing 60-yard bombs every play.
That would be the equivalent of putting all your money into one high-growth stock and hoping it carries you to retirement.
And that's not a strategy. That's a prayer. Championship teams spread responsibility across the roster, offense, defense, special teams, just like a well-diversified portfolio spreads exposure across asset classes, sectors, and risk profiles.
So true. The Super Bowl teams understand balance. You need steady running plays, those reliable income-producing investments, alongside the explosive opportunities that drive growth.
And you also need defense. In investing, defense is your risk management, your downside protection when markets get volatile.
Speaking of volatility, that's where experience comes in. Great coaches don't panic when the other team scores first. They trust the playbook.
And seasoned portfolio managers don't panic when markets correct. They know corrections are a part of the season. You don't abandon the strategy after one bad quarter in football or finance.
That reminds me of Indiana's incredible run winning the national championship in college football. That wasn't luck. That was culture, preparation, and execution.
Absolutely. Indiana didn't just show up one day and become champions. They built depth, discipline, and resilience over time, just like investors building wealth steadily through consistent contributions and long-term planning.
And what's fascinating is that the best teams and portfolios share the same mindset. You win in the off-season.
Exactly. Championships are won in film rooms, weight rooms, and practice fields. Portfolio success is won in the planning meetings, the research, the rebalancing, not in the emotional frenzy of market noise.
That's such a good point. Preparation is the invisible edge. When markets get turbulent, the prepared investor stays calm because they already know what role each holding plays.
Just like a Super Bowl team knows exactly what each player is supposed to do when the pressure peaks.
And there's also adaptability. Even the best playbook has to adjust to the opponent, just like portfolios adjust to economic cycles.
Right. You don't run the same play against every defense, and you don't invest the same way in every market environment. Process gives structure, but experience gives judgment.
So in the end, whether it's winning the Super Bowl or reaching your financial goals, success comes down to fundamentals: diversification, preparation, discipline, and staying focused on the long game.
And maybe most importantly, trusting the process even when the scoreboard or the market looks uncomfortable in the moment.
Because championships aren't built in a day.
And neither are great portfolios.
Now that's a trophy-worthy conclusion.
Absolutely. Portfolio management with a Super Bowl mindset. That's how you build lasting success. Thanks for joining us in this week's Financial Flash. We hope this conversation gave you a new way to think about portfolio management and maybe even something to talk about during the game this Sunday. Enjoy the football. Don't forget the appetizers. And if you're taking recommendations, my favorite Super Bowl snack is a good beer brat from Wisconsin. We'll see you next week with another educational Financial Flash Report.
Educational content by the professionals at Styles Financial Services, delivering customized portfolios aligned to your unique wealth goals.